Welcome, beautiful being, to your astrology forecast for 2022. This is your galactic soul guide to help you surf through these beautiful portals and openings and expansions that are going to be taking place in this epic year of awakening and soul expansion and embodiment of your spiritual purpose. So I want to give you a little bit of an overview of how this forecast is going to work. It's going to be delivered in 5 parts. The first part is this video, which is essentially the energetic forecast. So we're not going to be delving into the very, minute details of the astrological transits and aspects. That's going to be happening in what is called part 1, where we'll be reviewing January through March of 2022. And all of the detailed transits taking place and what those transits represent in terms of healing portals, opportunities, things of that nature. I want to give you a quick overview of the Temple of the Goddess. The Temple of the Goddess is essentially a portal that I was guided to create on behalf of the lineages that I work with. And you can find more information about that on my website, thetempleofthegoddess.org. And I am essentially a spiritual midwife. I am an awakening and integration guide. I'm a shaman. I'm a mesa carrier initiated in the shamanic lineage of the Quiro shamans of Peru. And I'm also an intuitive astrologist. I use something that I call soul purpose astrology. And in my readings, I help you really understand the healing path that you came to walk in this lifetime, related to your soul as well as to your bloodline lineage, your spiritual gifts, your spirit medicine, especially your spiritual purpose, as well as the ways that you're kind of most suited to earn your income, make money, things of that nature. We also get into relationship dynamics and a lot of different aspects of your life, as your soul map is what your astrology chart is. Your natal chart, your birth chart is essentially a map of your soul. Sometimes in our readings, we even get into past lives and things of that nature. So you can book a 1-hour or a 3-hour reading with me. The 3-hour reading is the deep dive. The 1-hour reading is essentially a little bit of an appetizer, kind of a quick look at some of the more significant things in your chart that you should know about. And then I have 2 programs that I offer. One is called The Journey of a Healer, and that's a 16-week program that you can apply for. And the other is a 12-week program that is more of a kind of simplified version of bi-weekly sessions. You can learn about both of those on my website or on the links in my bio on my Instagram page. So jumping into our forecast, the first thing we're going to talk about is kind of understanding the big picture of where we are right now cosmically. Go ahead and move this beautiful flower so I can concentrate better. So we're going to kind of talk about cosmically in terms of like the life cycles of humanity, kind of what's taking place on more of a galactic level as we go through this incredible process of awakening. We are in this, we as souls chose to incarnate at a specific time for a very specific purpose during the most accelerated awakening in the history of humanity, okay? It's a very special time to be human. It may not be the most easiest time to be human, but it's very productive on the level of the soul. So what is happening as we enter this Age of Aquarius is that we are also emerging into what a number of Native American traditions, indigenous traditions refer to as the 6th sun, okay? So we're passing out of a very dark era of the 5th sun into the 6th sun, from the Piscean age to the Aquarian age. This is essentially a golden era that we are moving into. And as a result, the old way is falling, okay? Now, this old power structure was actually authorized on a galactic level to reign, to rule for a certain period of time because of choices that humanity made about 10, 11, 12,000 years ago, okay? Now that reign, that lease on power has now been completed and is no longer permissible. And so these kind of lower density power structures that we often refer to as the patriarchy, which is not a statement of anything related to the masculine at all. It has to do with a power structure, right? We call it the patriarchy. That patriarchy has been in control for a number of thousands of years, but again, on a galactic cosmic level, that power structure was authorized to rule. Okay, now That lease on power is over. The battle has been won. Essentially, what you're seeing take place on the 3D level now is futile, ineffective attempts to try to hold on to power when on a spiritual level, when the spiritual level of course rules reality, that lease on power is over. So all of this to say that, and I'm going to get into this really in the next section, the fourth section, which is about how 2022 is our sacred initiation. But this, essentially this backdrop of what is taking place on the 3D level is really like the perfect backdrop for our awakening, right? Because we are being asked to learn to see with new eyes, okay? And again, I'm going to get into that in the next section, but it's very important that as the old way, as the old world, as the tower crumbles, right? You know, in the tarot deck we have the tower falling, right? That we do not get caught up in the chaos, right? We do not allow ourselves to be taken off of our center by all the chaos that's going to be taking place in the 3D level, and it's going to intensify, okay? It's not going to decrease in its level of intensity in this year, not by any stretch of the imagination. And on the Earth plane as well, you know, we have the planet Uranus in the sign of Taurus, so we will continue to also see Earth changes take place, which is really a purification of this old order, this old density, this old dense energy. And so, you know, basically, we're just being asked to learn how to discern and to not focus on the fighting aspect, right? There's nothing that you need to do to fight the old order, right? It is a function of spiritual law that the old order is going to fall away. So it's just a matter of having faith in this process and staying really focused on the spiritual aspect of life, all right? So the next section we're going to go into, section 4, is called 2022 is our sacred initiation. Learning to see all of life and choosing to experience reality through the lens of energy and spirituality versus the 3D lens, okay? So I'm going to read to you a little bit about this sacred invitation. And this initiation is basically your initiation to pass back into a portal of living in a frequency of oneness consciousness, right? Of accepting that everything is in divine order and in divine perfection, okay? So all of life is in the perpetual movement back to wholeness. Every angel, number, color, and frequency has a specific vibration to it. Each frequency has a sacred geometric expression, as do you. Your divine essence speaks to the universe through sacred geometric shapes that serve as portals. This initiation is asking you to adapt to the lens of sacred geometry, of seeing life, yourself, the events around you through the lens of oneness of divine perfection. Here you claim the role of divine director. As you embody the truth, the thoughts, the words, and the actions of the divine director, you remember your God self. You remember that you are source, you are the divine, and you are therefore an expression of divine perfection. Here you treat yourself and your life as the ancient altar that you are. You embody the ancient order of your ancient temple. You claim sacred order on all levels of your life. So if you're new to this terminology, I encourage you to go onto the website of the Temple of the Goddess, thetempleofthegoddess.org, and to read more about this whole concept of your life, your body, your energy field being an ancient temple. I find it to be a very useful metaphor. So the mantra that we are using for this year comes from a song by a beautiful spiritual band called Akae Beka, A-K-A-E, B, and then the second word is B-E-K-A. This band used to be referred to as the Midnight Band, and the lead singer of this band, his name is Vaughn Benjamin, and he crossed into the spiritual realms on November 4th, 2019. And he is a prophet and a high priest in the order of Melchizedek, and a very gifted lyricist and teacher, we refer to him as our master teacher and my lineage. And this mantra that I am offering to you, if you find use for it, comes from a song that he wrote called Anarchy. And it's one of my favorite of all of his lyrics. He produced 52 albums. Well, he produced a lot more than that, but 52 albums of his works have been released to the public. And so the lyric says, "The quality of life is what you feel inside." And the reason that I love that lyric and I am offering it and suggesting it as a mantra is because it reminds us that the energetic experience that we choose to embody is what is going to be reflected all around us, right? That is how powerful we are, right? So this is the prayer that I want to offer to you as an energetic invitation to really embody that mantra. A prayer of awakening and remembrance for you and me. I pray that you embody the divine director position in your life. I pray that by the winter solstice of December 2022, you witness the higher counsel of your divine essence reflected all around you in the 3D earth plane reality. That you live and see for yourself the teachings of Thoth, so within, so without. That you grow in great wisdom as you initiate the inner alchemy of experiencing your new reality on the inside, to such an extent that you experience it then in the outer realms. That you therefore experience in your earthly life, here in the outer realms, the higher levels of sacred order, spiritual purpose, abundance, peace, unity, through community, joy, and gratitude. And finally, that you begin to remember your multidimensional self and experience that multidimensional self, that you see the power that you carry within to affect your reality. So essentially, all of the portals and shifts and changes and chaos and crumbling of the tower that is going to take place this year in the outer realm, right? All of those things are an opportunity for you, right? An opportunity for me, an opportunity for all of us to begin to see with crystalline eyes, right? To see through our spiritual eyes. So the next section, section 7, and you can find this on my website. I have an overview of this forecast. Is called Returning to Eagle's Peak, claiming oneness and the sacred geometry that lives in all things. So again, the invitation is that by December of 2022, that you will be able to experience reality from a new perspective, or to deepen your ability to stay in that reality, right? To live in that 5D consciousness, that oneness consciousness experience. The desired outcome of our sacred journey of 2022 is remembering your ancient self, embodying the cosmic architect, the divine director, by keeping your focus within. Here we embody the true martial arts master. His victory comes by never losing his balance, as he knows his true victory comes from within and from his alignment with a higher power. So if you've seen any of the Ip Man movies, which are based on true stories, you will see the power of this divine alignment that comes from the spiritual laws that govern the universe. So section 8 is just kind of explaining that the actual new year takes place in March and April, right? So cosmologically, December, January is not the beginning of the new year, right? That's based on the Gregorian calendar, which is not at all synced with the natural earth cycles and the natural cosmological cycles of the universe. So really we begin our new year through the initiation of cardinal fire. Cardinal fire is represented by Mars, which is the sign of Aries. So when we enter Aries season, right, with the spring equinox, we begin the new year. So we'll be working with the new year energies as we, come into the end of March, the new moon in Aries. Then it will be even more elevated and strengthened when Jupiter transitions from Pisces into Aries. So we're going to have just this huge burst of cardinal fire. And cardinal fire is about initiation. It's about leadership. It's about trailblazing. It's about taking action. So really my invitation to you is to really dig into the first part of this year, January, February, March, to prepare for the new year, right? To be ready for the new year. And really my theme for part 1 is repair. Repairing relationships, repairing places in yourself. You know, these retrograde energies of Venus and Mercury have been really, really strong. And there's some really beautiful, powerful energies to work with to help us prepare for the new year. And what are we calling into our experience in this new year, starting with the spring equinox. So my closing thoughts for the energetic forecast for 2022, your galactic soul guide, is that in this year, you are going to be asked to make a choice. And that is going to be the choice of separation consciousness or oneness consciousness. And in every moment, you are going to be given the choice to embody separation consciousness or oneness consciousness. And I want to give you a specific example of my reality in this moment. So I got myself set up to record this video, and right when I got ready to record, I realized that the house next door has been rented out for a party, and they started playing loud party music and jumping in the pool and loud talking. And so I have a choice. How am I going to interface with these humans, with these energies? Am I going to get angry and hostile because something isn't going my way and I didn't want to have noise in the background of my video? Or am I going to embrace these beings and these energies as part of the backdrop of my forecast? Having fun, joy, you know, it's probably a family reunion, getting together, having fun, you know. They're having a great time. I embrace that. I'm glad that they're celebrating. So, you know, in every moment, we're going to have that choice, you know. And really my invitation to you in 2022 is that you strengthen your ability to hold all things, all polarities in the space of oneness consciousness, right? That you continue to expand your heart center to hold all things in the space of unconditional love, right? No matter who it is or what they're doing, no matter, you know, the treacherous, dark agendas that they may have, know that they are taking those actions, speaking those words, because they're being driven by fear and scarcity, right? And so even those beings, we can choose to have compassion for, we can choose to hold the space of unconditional love for them. And that does not mean that we support or uphold their actions, but it does mean that dropping down into the energy of judgment and separation consciousness is only going to lower our vibration, right? So it's really important how we interface with other energies. And then the second thing that I want to share with you is that I feel that this year, you're also going to be given the opportunity to truly listen to your inner voice, right? You may feel guided all of a sudden to move to a new place, right? Or to leave your old job and start something new, or to do something you've never done before. You know, this is the age of Aquarius. There may be old ways of doing things that all of a sudden you realize don't work for you, you know, and this Venus retrograde that's going on right now is very much about that. It's very much about owning what it is that you want and who you are, you know, and really deconstructing the patriarchal paradigms and programs and imprints that have affected your ability to really own who you are and what you want. You know, it's like we can't build a heart-centered life of abundance and expansion and joy and unity if we're trying to live someone else's dream, right? If we're being separated from our own version of truth by someone else's projection onto who we can be. So those are my closing remarks. The final, I guess, concluding sentence of that is just that in this new ancient earth, and I call it the new ancient earth, just like I call it your new ancient self, because it's new in the sense that it's new from what came most recently, but it's also not new in that it's ancient, right? We're being asked to step back into our ancient selves. And so in this new ancient earth, your vibe not only attracts your tribe, your vibe determines every aspect of your reality. hence why we are being asked by the Ancient Ones to assume the role of divine director in our lives. The inner determines the outer experience, aka the way that you experience the outer 3D reality. So the final thing I want to mention to you is just resources, both free and for a very reasonable expense, that we offer here in the Temple of the Goddess. The first thing is that every Sunday I do an energy forecast, and the purpose of that forecast is to give you a heads up on the astrological transits, aka portals, energy shifts that are going to be coming that week, so you can kind of have a heads up on what to expect and how to work with those energies. And that's free and available for you on Instagram. You can either watch it live while I'm delivering it, or you can watch it afterwards. It is posted on Instagram TV. Then the second thing is that we will be launching in February our Starseed Sanctuary of the Sacred Heart. And that is going to be daily offerings for our tribe, for people who are in the process of soul expansion, awakening, healing, stepping into your purpose, learning how to accept your spiritual gifts, learning to feel safe being seen. It's a private community where we have private sessions on Zoom. So it's a very safe space. We are very experienced in creating safe space in our community for people of many different cultural backgrounds. And the first phase of that will be donation-based. So you are welcome to join, and we ask that you be in integrity with our community and with our practitioners by making some type of donation. That could be that you send an overview of our community to 20 of your friends. That could mean that you only have $20 that day and you offer $2.22 back to the practitioner, right? So it's really about being in right relationship with our community and with each other as ascending, awakening souls. The third thing is that I offer intuitive soul purpose astrology sessions. The deep dive, where we really dive all the way into your soul map, is a 3-hour session. It's called the Soul Purpose Astrology Session. And in the Soul Purpose Astrology Session, we take 3 hours to go through your entire chart. I show you how to read your chart, and we go through the transits, we go through all the aspects. There's an overview of that on my website as well. You can also do a 1-hour session with me, which is basically, I call it your soul illumination session. And that's where I just point out to you some of the bigger aspects in your chart that you can start to research and get to know. There's also an option where you can purchase the online astrology course, which is normally $88, and you can purchase the 1-hour session as like a bundle, and I think you save maybe like $40 or something. When you sign up for the 3-hour session, the astrology course is included, and it's 16 short videos between 4 and 11 minutes each that give you an introduction to each of the archetypes that we work with, right? So each of these archetypes is an ancient archetype found in almost all cultural traditions, all just with different names, right? And these are the archetypes that we work with in your chart and in your readings, and so you'll get a lot more out of the reading once you have given yourself an orientation to the framework. All readings are recorded, and you can go back and listen to them as many times as you want. Then the next thing I wanted to mention to you is the Journey of a Healer, that includes access to the Spiritual Purpose Incubator online course, which we go through 8 modules in level 1 of the Journey of the Healer. The Journey of the Healer has 3 different levels to it, and they all include different layers of embodying your spiritual purpose and really stepping into your spiritual gifts. And so usually we offer 2 sessions every year of the Journey of a Healer, the 16-week program. We have group sessions every week, and it also includes private sessions with myself as well as with a number of our alumna in the program. And then finally, I have a new program that is called the Spiritual Warrior Path of Initiation, The Way of the Dragon. And that is a 12-week program, and the 12-week program includes bi-weekly sessions with me, where we show up to be present with you, and we allow Spirit to guide whatever needs to take place as you step closer into your medicine and embodying your spiritual purpose. All right? So I hope that you have found this useful and helpful, and one of the ways that you can support my work and our work here in the Temple of the Goddess, which is all about spiritual midwifery, helping others to come into their medicine, to be of service during this great awakening, right? To show up to be present for your purpose, but also to be of service, is by sharing this video. You know, posting it on your Facebook page, taking a screenshot of it on your Instagram page, sending it out to some people over email, or just sending the link and texting it to people, WhatsApp, whatever works for you. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. I hope that this was of service to you. And I also want to encourage you to watch part 1 of the astrological transits for the 2022 year. And we are going to be embodying the serpent medicine in the first quarter of the year. And I will have links where you can learn about the medicine wheel of the hero shamans and their work to bring their medicine to our world. And I also have a link to a video where I speak about serpent medicine and the work we're being called to do to really shed the old skin. Many, many blessings to you. Thank you for all of your medicine, for all of your work to embody your purpose, to awaken, and to support others and their beautiful awakening. Ashe.